everybody. I am not religious, I'm spiritual. There is a very big difference in spiritual. But I've had two prophetic dreams that I can remember. And, you know, it's so funny. I didn't call them prophetic dreams. Like, in the spiritual community, everyone knows that if you go to sleep, you receive messages. So you just called, you know, I just received a message last night, or I received a download from God, or you just go, you know, I asked a question to my spirit guides and they gave me the answer. So, but just wanted to put it out there. I see the other prophetic dreams and I have some concerns about the ones I've been seeing, and just a word of caution. When someone has a prophetic dream and it's all filled with fear, but they say the words, or they don't say the words, I am protected, I would be very careful about taking their advice, because if you have these dreams and you are continually shown that you are protected, when I channeled this and asked the angels, I channeled the archangels, Archangel Michael and Gabriel, about this, they said, you know, you're protected, you are chosen. So I know when I look at these images that would be so terrifying to other people, when I go, but I was protected, you need to understand that means I've done what I needed to do. I've been chosen as one of the people who are going to make it through this. And so when they send you those protection dreams, they're letting you know that you're okay, but they're also letting you know, as people who are listening to prophetic dreams, that I am the one who is right. I am right with God, Jesus. So other people are like, get right, like I am right. I do right. And I don't say that with any arrogance. I say every day I wake up and I go into prayer and meditation, and I talk to God and Jesus and my spirit guides and my angels every day. I do my healing. I release lower vibrational fears that, you know, so I do the work. So I was not surprised to see that I'm protected. So I want to tell you the two dreams, and just be aware, if you're talking to someone who's very fearful and it's just the fear with no protection, that wouldn't be the person you should be taking advice from, because they have not done what was needed to do in order to be one of the chosen, or not even that, to get that blanket or have the faith, because this should not be fear. You should have such a deep relationship with God, Jesus, your angels, or spirit guides, or ancestors, wherever it is, that you know if anything goes wrong, you just have to ask and they will protect you, right? And before I got the dreams, I knew that, because that's the relationship I've built. So just remember that when you're listening to people, if they don't say they are protected, and you'll notice a few of us does, and I find that the people who say they're protected, I find that when I listen to the rest of their videos, they're more knowledgeable, they have more research, and they have more wisdom and more just facts about what's going on than the people who don't, who are just randoms. And the randoms who do say put their prophetic dreams up and you're not protected, you need to do what you need to do so that you know going in, you don't have to worry. Fear is what the enemy does, not what Jesus and God does. Fear is what keeps you held back. So if it's all fear, no protection, you still have work to do. You still have work to do. Don't stop scaring people and start understanding what it takes for you to release all that fear, anger, arrogance, whatever it might be, that keeps you from knowing if something happens, God, Spirit, Guide, Holy Spirit will protect you. So you still have work. And I still have work. Don't even get it twisted. Because I'm chosen and protected does not mean I can't slide backwards. I am very aware, and I just make sure I'm continuing. So let me tell you the two dreams. Now, I know what's going on because I channel and I've asked. So at the end, if you want to stay, I will tell you what I've learned from my archangels, what they've told me about what's going on, and things that I picked up from other guides. So the first dream I had, and this one was very interesting. So I was at a mall, and the mall was abandoned, and we were looking for food, but we could not find any. And we were looking for water and we could not find any. And it was a very quick dream. And I remember waking up, but the whole time I was okay. So even though we were looking at this abandoned wall for food and water, I was okay. I knew the whole time that, like, we're looking, but we're going to be taken care of. And so that was the first dream. And that dream was sort of validated when I saw so many people saying food shortage and famine, because Spirit has given me, and my spirit guides have told me the last 6 months to prepare. So it's interesting. I'm watching some of these videos and people found out like 2 days ago there's going to be a famine because they got the message in their dream. And I was like, God been sending us these messages for like 6 months. You just got it. I am happy you just got it. And it's interesting. Part of the reason I have so much faith in the spirit world is because I know I'm going to get the signal before anything happens. They already told me what to do to prepare. So I know things are coming, but I know they're God's will doing. to do the judgment and the cleansing that needs to take place. But it's just interesting when people finally get the message, because I know the message went out months ago. So just always go into prayer and listen, go, hey, is there anything else I need to be doing? Because, like if you're finding out now that there's going to be a shortage, the prices are higher than they were 5 months ago. You don't get as much. They get smaller, so the cans are smaller, and they're not filling the cans to the top. So it's like you get this big old head space, and you're paying more for that little bit. So just make sure you're doing what you need to do to not have fear, because that's not what Christ is about. It's not about fear. It's about you releasing that and trusting them that they'll take care of it. The second dream that I had, pretty prophetic, was I was outside, maybe like Arlington, Virginia or Washington, D.C., but there was a whole bunch of tall buildings that, like 20 feet tall in the air. And I remember the building I was right at the foot of, so it was above me, fell. The whole tower fell, and all the towers you saw fell. The whole time, everything crumbled, and everything was done. No more destruction. And again, what happened was 2 large slabs had come over me and protected me. So even though this just happened, and I was right at the foot, so it should have fell, it did not, because I was protected. And to me, that was just a very obvious dream about the destruction that's about to come, and that I'll be okay. They're letting me know you're okay. You just keep doing what you're doing, going inside, going in self, going in healing, going in building that relationship even deeper with Christ and with God that it already is, and keep evolving as a soul and higher elevation and consciousness. You're going to be okay, because that's what you're doing, and that's what we're here for. This is Earth School. We are spiritual beings having an Earth experience. And when you realize that, you start tapping into, well, how do I tap into the spiritual, like the realm of what my spirit brings, the gifts, the ability to connect, the ability to know. That's my whole search, and that's been worth it. So I also want to I do channel the angels. I do angelic healings. And I just did a reading with a client the other day. And before that reading, all they told me, because in my mind I was like, September, something's happening in September. I don't know what it is, because in March, the lockdown on COVID. Now, I prepared in January because it was obvious as heck where this was going. But, everyone else got panicked in March, and I had like all I needed, right? And then June, that's when you saw the mass protests, which are supposed to be taking place. Those are our warriors to bring about the destruction that's needed so that rebirth can come in and Christ can come in. But the systems that we had are systems that kept us distracted and kept us dumb, kept us drinking, kept us smoking, all the things that kept us at a low vibration so that they can keep us enslaved. And that's coming to an end because Christ is coming. I've been anointed by Jesus. I am one of his healers. That is what I do. It's very powerful. I can't wait for him to come. We already have a relationship, and when he's here, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I know I'll be taken care of, and I know I'll be protected throughout all of this, because I know as long as I keep going on and doing my truth and what's inside, I'll be okay. So I asked them, what's going on in September? And all they told me at that time, because how it works is they'll tell me a little bit, but as I do more research and gather more data and come back with it, then they'll tell me more. Because I still have my own learning lessons I need to do. As much as I'd like for them to just tell me the whole story, I still need to learn. I still need to be tested with my faith, right? Because that makes me stronger, especially when you show that faith works. And they said big shift, and I was like, and I don't even know if I should be telling you what they told me, honestly. I'll think about it as I tell you this other part. Also for September 2020, they said, so I looked up, so they just said a big shift is going to be taking place. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get another vibration, a high rise frequency change like we had a couple months ago. And you might have remember a couple months ago in July where you were just really tired for a week, really tired. And then when that Monday came, some of the people were really grumpy, and some of you were like, I love life. Well, we got a really high frequency, dose of frequency, because our vibration is elevating on this planet. So I was like, okay, big shift. Oh, it must be even bigger frequency shift. So I looked to astrology, what's going on in the stars, and they're like, oh, well, this time Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter are just going to sit there. They usually move, but they're going to sit there and just emanate all this energy. And I know that creates a big shift. And so I was like, okay. Now, they told me some other stuff on my channel, but I don't feel comfortable at this moment telling you what they told me. I just don't think you guys are ready for that, to be quite honest. So I'll go, if it's ever time to release it, I will. But it's going to be very obvious. I'm getting the impression, for what they're telling me and what they're not telling me, that there's going to be a massive event in September. Now, they told me September 2nd. When I asked my friends, what's your intuition tell you? What does Spirit tell you? I've heard September 14th. I heard September 2nd from someone else. I'm hearing November 3rd at midnight. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all these things that other people who are intuitive have been saying that they get, because we all receive different messages, right? And so for some of us, it's going to hit first than for others, right? You know, it's a big difference if you're in Florida, which is really going to get it, versus if you're in Virginia or New York City, right? So we all get different messages because things are going to heat up at different moments depending on where we're at. And so I know famine's coming. There's going to be some event that happens very quickly where all of a sudden the water's contaminated, and all of a sudden your tap water is like, you're not going to want to drink it, and all of a sudden there just won't be food available, and that people will go to the grocery stores. They'll be fighting. If you look at all the prophetic dreams, that has been the consistent one. But even if you look at the weather, like, this is spiritual warfare. They want to keep you dumb. They don't want to keep you, they want to keep you in fear. They don't want to keep you having faith and love in Christ, because that's the only thing that wins against Satan. Satan comes and I say, nope, not today, Satan. Jesus, protect me. They know that's enough. As long as I truly believe, they'll have me look like I'm driving off the cliff. But if Jesus says keep going straight, I will keep going straight, even though they put an illusion. They will do things like that. He's not dumb. He's really good. Because I've had, I'm someone who's really powerful at waking people up with my healings. And they've been trying to distract me from getting to people. It took me 3 days to get to this one lady. And then when I did, I found out she was extremely powerful. She needed the healing so she could know who she really was and lead her spiritual warriors on the spiritual plane. But they were trying to distract us. And I have another friend right now who needs me to come over and do a cleansing. And right when I was going to come, like, his aunt gets a flat tire, and he needs to go do it, right? So, right when I was about to go. So he works very subtly in distraction. And before, I heard a lot of people talk about spiritual warfare, and I was like, what? But yeah, it's real. Spiritual warfare it's subtle, and it uses distractions, but distractions are they work. They really, truly work, okay? So it's not like these distractions, they're watching. They know who I am. They know how strong I am, and they know that I'm unapologetic, and they know that, like, I'm here and I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm willing to take whatever might come from these evil beings, because I know I'm protected by God. So if they want this smoke, they're going to get it, but not just for me, because I don't walk alone. I walk with the armor of God and with Christ. So you can keep trying it, but you're not going to get very far. And I'm going to cleanse that low vibrational energy from my friend's apartment when I get home from this drive. So the other thing that I've heard, the November 3rd, I asked for more clarification from Archangel Gabriel and Michael, and they both just reiterated that, so I asked them, will there be civil war? And yes, because the civil war is needed to bring in a change. These old systems didn't serve us. Though the new system, and if we're going to elevate in consciousness, we have to build something new. But the thing is, they can't do it. We have to do it. So all of this is like building up so that we can be inspired to step up and bring the change. So when you see one of our warriors die, meaning one of our protesters, they're warriors, and they die at these protests, protesting for what's right. Just understand that you're just supposed to go and tell them, thank you for serving honorably. Say that to their soul. That's all they need. Gratitude is the currency. They willingly give up their lives. So just understand, there are people, because I was like, God, I'm a fighter. I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm a commander. I'm a general. So I'm like, yo, it's my turn to fight, because I'm ready. This isn't right. It doesn't sit right with my soul, what they're trying to do. The racism doesn't sit right with my soul. None of this, the not doing anything when you see the injustice doesn't sit right with my soul. I'm ready to fight. And they were like, Lisa, this is not your fight. But the people who are out there, they are called to be out there. They are warriors. They're willingly giving up their lives. They're willingly doing this to bring about the change. This country needs to wake people up and save the souls of the non-melanated who need to have their souls awakened, who don't have the blood of Christos through their veins. They don't have the melanin that they need through their veins. They are the Gentiles. we're doing this to wake them up. And honestly, I know why, because what is coming with the 3 days of darkness, because two different sessions I've had, they're like darkness. I was like, is an EMP coming? They're like, not an EMP, but darkness. The darkness is coming. They told me to get a generator. And so I'm looking at the darkness, and I look it up, 3 days of darkness, because remember, I'm spiritual, not religious. So a lot of the things I learn as an adult with fresh eyes, not coursed eyes. No one's coursing me. No one's telling me. I rigged it up on my own, through my own knowledge. And I was like, oh my goodness. So these people, if they don't get saved, Satan gets them. Like 3 days of darkness, demonic beings comes out of the clouds, and they try to trick you, but if they get you, they get you. Like, no wonder we're trying to save these people and wake them up. This is horrible. And they've done such a good job of creating this system that keeps us distracted and keeps us in low-level activities. And don't get me wrong, I used to drink as well. I stopped because I couldn't channel, or my vibration was low, and I couldn't channel and hear as clearly when I talked to Jesus, God, or my archangels. So I stopped voluntarily to do it. But then I realized, wow, they just really had us in this system of low vibrational activity, like it was okay. Like we're not here to ascend and elevate in vibration, and that keeps us low. So they're very subtle at that group fake, at making us think something that's really not good for us, for what we're here for, but that it's okay to just keep doing and doing. So November 3rd, they said that's what's going on. So we're going to have some warriors who will give up their life, but just understand they give it up willingly. No one dies if they're not supposed to, okay? If it's your time, that's because your soul and spirit agreed, and the Holy Spirit agreed with them too, that yes, it's time. And this will spark the change that's needed for the generational healing taking place. So the next thing I saw, so all I know is they just keep saying darkness is coming, darkness, and I've seen a few things on the 3 days of darkness, and I was like, oh, when Sandra Bullock did the bird box where you had to cover your eyes because if you looked, you died, literally, they're like giving us the codes. They're telling us what's happening. Now, the only good thing, and I don't want to leave you with fear if you look into that, is just understand, if you're listening and you're aware, you will know, just like I've known for the last 6 to 7, January, 8 months, to stock up on food. You will have plenty of time to know. It's when you're not listening, you just found out a week ago that this is happening, right? So if you're paying attention and you're following the right people who are protected, I found another, her channel's like Mystic something, and she said something judgmental about witchcraft, and I was like, don't judge Wiccans, okay? You're not supposed to be judging. Gosh, I like religious people, I like when I can talk to them, but when they start that judgmental, you're doing sorcery because you manifest, you're a wizard, like, chill, okay? We're like, people are being themselves, okay? And if at your soul level, you are an elemental who knows how to work with that, you are an elemental. Stop letting someone take away your power. You can do the same thing if you wanted. So what I will say to that, just make sure the people who I am following who do mention these things, and they do mention they're protected, have the most accurate prophetic dreams, and they have the most consistent prophetic dreams. I don't always get dreams because I can just ask during a channeling or meditation session, and I get the answer, and then I go about my business, and I have a tribe. This video is like one part. I have a whole real estate investing platform, and people in my tribe, they are listening to me. So I get things, I give it right back out to them. If I know something, they know something. If I'm prepared, they're prepared. The people in my group, my real estate investing group, they've been prepared since January. Okay, so they're following, so they're gonna know, because I'm going to tell them when I receive the message. I'm going to tell them. And for all of you out there, do not be scared. Just make sure you're listening to the right people. There's like Spirit Move Ministry, that's a good one. She's connected. She's getting the same messages I'm getting. What's her name? Her name's Mystic something. She's really about, if you put like the 7, calculating the 7 is like her website, but she's all about like the 7 years of something. It's not really well researched, that 7 years of Daniel, about like the end times. Now, it's not end times, it's just into the cycle. We're actually going to still be here, but we're going to be at a higher vibration. Because, we're not leaving Earth to Satan. Yeah, he's not getting Earth, okay? Now, he's going to be banished, right? But he's not getting Earth. We're going to still be here. So, just in the religious side, it's end times. They think they're going to be shot up like a beam of light. But, no, what we're doing is we're going to still be here. But a lot of people who are not evolved enough to be able to handle the 5th dimension are not going to make it. All of this is like a purge of the people who are not able to ascend at a higher enough elevation and level. So what was I saying? So just make sure if you're listening, don't be scared. Just listen to the people who say they're protected, because you'll notice consistently they're telling you not to be scared. They're like, do this and do this. He's giving us so many messages. There's no reason at all for you to be fearful when he's telling us, and he's giving us so much time. To me, it's like so much time. I'm like, if you haven't had time, you haven't been listening. So you will be okay as long as you listen, or learn how to listen yourself. Because me channeling God, Jesus, and our archangels, you can do it too. It just takes you showing up every day, you wanting it, and doing the work in practice, because like a muscle, it gets better over time. Before, I could only hear one word, then it was a sentence, now it's paragraphs. That took 4 years, right? But I was like, this is what I want. And time goes by fast, so I don't mind the time, and I keep getting better and better, because I keep waking up, I keep doing my healing and releasing, and I keep seeking and seeking, So I didn't get visions either. But the last 2 years, from 2 years ago to now, I'm starting to get images and visions, because I worked at it. I was like, this is my gift, this is my right, I'm going to do it. And now I'm getting them, right? And I'm telling you this is because you can do everything we're doing. Just make sure you set up the time to do it, and you really want it. And the time will fly by, and you'll look up, and one day you'll have it. But it does take time for you to develop all these gifts if you want to be able to talk and hear yourself, versus having to go through an intermediary. Now, the good thing is there's an intermediary like me. Like, we don't care if you think I'm crazy. We're going to put this out, and you're going to hear it if you have eyes and ears to hear and listen, okay? So do not be scared. Do not be in fear. If something makes you fearful, you need to go right back to God will save me. Jesus will save me. Jesus will guide me. Jesus will give me the sign. Jesus will show me the disciple who will tell me what I need to do. I will get the information in time. And that's the energy you need to create in your life, not fear. But are some fearful things going to happen? Yes. But you need to know how to go back to faith and not let fear take you, because fear is Satan and Lucifer. Fear is not Jesus, love, Holy Spirit, and God, right? So just remember that, and thank you, and good night.